Hello S3, it's Miss Hunter. If you're here, it's because you've chosen the historical fiction genre, and I hope that means that you are fascinated, as I am, by events and characters of the past. On this slide, I've provided a detailed definition of the genre, and I've also provided some GIFs and images of different novels, TV shows, and films that I think fit really well into the genre and provide a helpful illustration. Hopefully, if you're here, then at least some of these are things that you're already interested in, maybe TV shows or films or books that you loved engaging with at some point. There's some questions at the bottom that just says, do you recognise any of them? And do you know what era or events that they explore? So take some time to have a look and have a read at this slide before we continue to have a look at the aims of the course and what we're going to be focusing on this week. Here is a list of the 5 elements we are going to focus on during this creative writing unit. Each of the different genres, delivered by different teachers, will focus on the same core skills. We hope that you will carry these over to the senior phase and that they'll help you to get a really solid understanding of what makes an effective piece of creative writing. We're going to look at the genre conventions, the different elements or signposts that show that your creative writing fits into a specific genre. We'll think about plot, how to structure the journey that your character goes on so that it is gripping and interesting to a reader. We'll also look at how to develop a believable three-dimensional character, how to use different descriptive techniques to build an interesting, engaging setting, which is particularly important for this genre because you'll be world building. You'll be looking at a time and era that is totally different to our own. So we have to be really specific and really careful with our setting choices. And finally, we're going to look at language for effect. I've written a reminder there that you are both the artist and the architect. Nothing on the page happens by accident, which is something that I always like to teach my classes when we are reading other people's writing. Everything that you craft and create has been done for a specific purpose. And that's really important when we're both planning and we get down to the writing part of this course. On the other side of this slide is a marking tag, which you should be familiar with by now. There's a list of skills, I can statements. I want you to read through them at this stage and just give yourself a rating of either red, amber or green, remembering that we want these to change and to show progress throughout the course. So if some of them are red and amber just now, that is absolutely fine. The important thing is that you are really honest with yourself so you can track your progress and ask me for any specific help you need to fill in any gaps that you are unsure of. There will be one main task for you to complete this week. That task will focus on research, a bit of imagination, and note-taking. As you complete that task, you're going to have to consider the 7 elements of historical fiction. I have included them here in some detail, and I'd like you to spend some time now reading through and getting to grips with them. Remember that you can always come back to this slide or to this moment in the video when you are completing the main task this week. The main task this week is to conduct research into historical events and characters. Because you are here, there might be an area of history that you are already completely fascinated by. And you might already think, I know exactly what I'm going to write on. I don't need to look into any other areas. Well, I'm glad about that. I'm glad you're passionate about history. But for the sake of this task, it would be really helpful if you could keep that safe, but just place it to one side so that you can enter into these different eras with an open mind. On each of the following slides, there's a different event or character from history that I find compelling and fascinating. What I want you to do is look at each of them, read the information, and answer the 3 questions that I've provided for you. There's a challenge at the bottom of this slide that just says, that you could also spend some extra time choosing 2 or 3 of the events I provided, but conducting some independent research. So if you want to do that, if you get through the main task fairly quickly, please have a go at the challenge too. Now that you've completed the main task for this week, and I hope you found it interesting, there is a challenge here. If you feel you have time or you want to go into a little bit more detail, expand your knowledge of history that little bit more before we head into the planning and creative stages, then I want you to think about an event or character that you're interested in that wasn't included in the 5 slides that I provided. Conduct some research using YouTube and Bitesize, they're great places to start. Answer the same 3 questions that you've been answering for the previous slides and add to your notes. Remember that we've not made any decisions yet about the era that we are going to focus on for our short story. And it's okay, you don't need to make that decision just yet. So look into an event that you are super interested in that I haven't pushed you towards yet and add to your notes so you have even more choice when we come on to the planning stage. If you'd like to share your extra bit of research with the rest of the class, then please feel free to tweet us either at my Twitter page or at the Liberton English Twitter page, and we'll get that shared with everyone else who is engaging in the historical fiction genre. The final stage of learning for this week is to engage with somebody else who has chosen historical fiction as their genre. Get in touch with them and share the ideas you've noted down with each other. Remember that it's totally fine to borrow or steal from each other's ideas, especially because we've not landed on our chosen era for our writing just yet. At this stage, there are lots and lots of options for us to choose from. Once you've shared with your partner and you've added to your notes, please send your notes to me by email. I've included my email address on this slide for ease. Your notes can be handwritten, you might just choose to take a photograph of them, or they might be typed, in which case please send the document on to me. I look forward to reading your fabulous ideas and thinking about the different perspectives we could approach these historical moments from. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care and stay safe.